All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Good to see everyone that was able to make it on today. I know today's a little bit of an odd day compared to our week this week, July 4th being tomorrow. Happy 4th of July. But I'm going to jump right in, guys. I know I see some of you guys are in the field. Some of you guys are doing maybe just jumping on to listen, taking some notes and things. But I want to talk about leadership today. I want to talk about core leadership and how I can help you guys get into the core of your organization, the core of your team, the core of the business that you're in, and essentially the traits that it takes to be in the core. Now, if there's anyone on your teams that you are that weren't able to make it today, I'm going to upload this to the YouTube channel. So be sure to share that with the with your teams and with your people, so we can do our best to help them as well. But happy day before, like I said, 4th of July. Hope you guys have a nice 4th and then enjoy the time with your friends and family. But I'm gonna jump right in to our topic today. So let me get this thing started here and get things rocking. So if you're in a place to take some notes, that's awesome. I think this may serve you. All right, so we can change our lives. We can do, have, and be exactly who we want to be.
So
We
first,
can change our lives, Rafa. We can change our lives by putting ourselves on mute. We can change our lives. We can do, have, and be exactly who we want to be. Tony Robbins said that. So who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? So if you're in a sports team, the question is who becomes the captains? If you're in a corporation, you're in an organization, who are the board of directors? Who are the influencers? If you're in one of our offices in our organization, our industry, who are the top leaders that become the core? If you're in an organization and you're an owner and you're a partner in the business, who are the ones that become promoting owners? And then if it's in the industry as a whole and you want to make a massive impact on people, who, if you want to be one of those players in the industry, who are the ones that become consultants? Who are the ones that become senior national consultants that make basically get to the Super Bowl and have the Super Bowl trophy of the industry? So who do you want to be? I think it starts there. I think you got to ask yourself what game you're playing, because I think oftentimes you tend to play at the level of the game that you're in, right? I remember playing sports and playing soccer, and even nowadays, playing on a team. I never forget the story in Atlanta when I called my parents on the ride home from one of my men's games, and we ended up losing in overtime to this team that, to be honest, they just sucked. They were brutal. And our coach had made some, subs of some of our defenders. And to be fair, these guys should have never been on the field. And I left, my college roommate was on the team and we both played at Penn State together. And after the game, we kind of agreed that we're not going to play for this team anymore. It was the semifinals of our league. And I looked at him and I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can play this team anymore. And he looked at me, he goes, yeah, me too. And we talked about it on the way out. And I remember calling my parents on the ride home. And I told my parents, I told them about what happened. We were up 2-1. The coach made some subs on some of our defenders. And the guy shouldn't have been on the field. He was awful. He was slow. He was whatever. And he got beaten twice. We ended up losing in overtime 3-2. And we don't advance to the finals of the league. And I told my parents the story. And I remember my mom said to me, and she got pissed. My mom was like, you know what, honey? If those people on that soccer team you play on don't know that you build a big business and you do this for fun, but you also do it to win, don't play on any team is not playing to win. Your time's too valuable.
It's only for the team and not the other kid.
Hey, thanks, Jose. I'm going to put you on mute. And so, it's interesting, right? And that's how I was raised. I was raised in a family that, I'm sorry, guys. I got some people that aren't on mute here. If you can put yourself on mute, Gabriella, could you throw yourself on mute? Thank you. If not, no biggie. You can just drop on the call. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here to just mute everyone that comes on so you don't cause you guys issues. Hold on. Can I mute everyone? I don't know if I can mute everyone that is not muted. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to do my best to just try to do it at the same time. All right. So, but anyways, I was saying that I think, when I was raised in a family that, in my opinion, that are just winners, they realize how important it is to be among the best and be the captain of the team. Right. And I tell my son, and he plays soccer in a U11 soccer team. I was like, do you want to just be a player in the team? Or do you want to be the guy? Do you want to be the main player? And, if you guys watching soccer right now, Copa America is on right now. And, my son and I have been watching the games together. And he looked at me the other night after the game when the U.S. team lost, and the commentators were losing their mind on how the U.S. had played in the Copa America. If you guys know soccer, you're probably paying attention to that. And Alexi Lalas, one of the former players, said, I hope there's kids out there that are watching this game and knowing that you are going to help change the entire, scope of U.S. soccer. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you guys for putting yourselves on mute. Luis, thank you. And so, the interesting thing is that, people who look at their organizations that way and look at the business that way tend to get more out of it. So why do you want to be at the core? So I'm curious. Some guys that are on today that are able to be on mute, and thank you for that. Sorry for the confusion there, guys. Can you put in the chat what is it about the core of an organization? Why should you be in the core of the organization? What part of being in the core of your office is vital to your development? Why do you need to be in the core? Why do you need to be among the few and not among the masses in a business? I'm curious to what you guys think. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here and see what you guys put in the chat. Why should you be in the core? Okay, more responsibilities. Yeah, more opportunities to learn, for sure. Everything functions from the core. So if you're a part of it, you insist in helping. Yeah, you assist in making decisions, right? You're a part of the decision makers. The best, we want to be around the best. More leadership opportunities, networking, a sense of pride, 100%. You sharpen the saw a little bit more. Personal development, you level up your mind. Good. So listen, so it seems like you guys get the importance of it, right? You get the importance of being among the few as opposed to being among the many, right? So very good. So being in the core is vital to your development, absolutely vital. So I'm going to cover today some characteristics of people that are in the core, some things that they do, things that, they do to, get the most out of this opportunity. And by the way, I'm going to go back. This is a picture here of our some assistant management training we had in Atlanta. We had about 40 people in Atlanta recently learning how to run offices, learning the day-to-day operations of the business. And they're, on deck to be the next partners in the organization. So it's great hanging out with people. I know a lot of people maybe on this call that were there or might watch the channel that were there. All right, so the first characteristics is commitment. Commitment. It will take commitment, more commitment than the average person in an organization, more commitment than the average person on a team to be in the core. The captain takes on more weight, has a different role, has more responsibility. They're the ones that have to have a different mentality. And in our industry, commitment is really simple. You just have to show up. You have to show up to team nights. You have to show up to the office on time, early. You may do a little extra, but you will get a little extra, right? You do the extra, you get the extra. That's how it works. But number one is commitment. Number two is you have to have high standards and you have to have strong quality. When I look at standards and quality when it comes to performance, when you close a sale, that sale gets activated. There's no like in between. I know there's circumstances that are out of your control. I'm not talking about those, but when you close a sale, it's basically taking it to the bank. Having 100% activations on your orders is vital to being in the core, because your people will do exactly what you do. And when it comes to the field and it comes to standards, you have to be a system worker. You have to be a system worker, and you have to show people the system works, right? And I'll tell you, in some offices, I know in our office we have something called Alpha. It's $1,200 a week. To people who barely do $1,200 a week, they may be in the core because they barely get in it, but they're probably not going to be the people that people follow when you open offices, right? People want to be around players. People want to be around pace setters. People want to be around people that are making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week in what we do. And then on the quality side, obviously when it comes to customer and customer experience, having zero complaints, having the best quality when it comes to customer experience. You guys may not know this, but we just signed a retailer, and we've been testing this thing for 4 or 5 months, and we've become the preferred partner of this retailer and a Best Buy. I'll just tell you guys, if you guys don't know. And one of the big reasons. Sorry, guys. Chitty is off of mute here, so I'm going to put them on mute. Okay, there we go. And one of the big reasons we are the preferred vendor for Best Buy is because we've had zero issues. We've had that one of the biggest things they said is we don't want to work with organizations that create issues. So clearly we do a lot of sales and we have no issues. We are the only organization they're allowing inside of their doors to be a part of growing their wireless portfolio, which is huge. So standards and quality. Number three is trust and character. Trust and character. This is really simple, but this is really hard to do for some people. Is your word gold? Can someone take it to the bank when you say you're going to do something? So ultimately, you have follow through. When you say it, you do it. And when you have that follow through, you simply say things that you do, people feel safe around you as a leader. They want to be a part of it because they know how, and they know what they're gonna get, right? And it all comes down to you having follow through. They simply can trust you, and they know you're gonna do the right thing. Number 4 is authenticity, honesty, right? So they're just people who are in the core are confident in who they are. They are themselves. They simply do them. They are themselves. As a leader and a leader of people, one thing I really appreciate about people that are authentic and honest is when they do make mistakes, because they're human, they make mistakes. When they do make mistakes, they admit them. They come into me and they say, hey, listen, you know what? I just want to tell you, I screwed up. This is what I did. This is what I screwed up. But hey, this is what I was thinking is a solution. I just wanted us to always be on the same page, because they understand that if you're in the core and you're going to have an organization, you're going to build a foundation of strength and a foundation that's going to get through a lot of storms, that honesty and that authenticity and always being aligned is vital to long term. And I'll tell you, over the years, I've had people that didn't do this with me. And the reason why this one is a big one when it comes to being the core of an organization, a core of a business, is because I've found that if people aren't admitting their mistakes and aren't learning from them and aren't being honest, they tend to hide things. And I have a little note here in my characteristics that said, if people are hiding things, be aware. Be aware. Because if they hide the small things, they're going to hide the big things. So just be aware of that honesty and authenticity is huge when it comes to being in the core. All right. Number 5, humble swagger. To be in the core of an organization, be a core of a business, having a humble swagger is huge. And when I talk about humble swagger, this is confidence in themselves, but they're confident and they ask questions. They're also humble when it comes to learning. They're really, really interested in getting better, getting around people that are stronger than they are, people that are better than they are. But they're confident. Listen, they know they don't know everything, but they obviously take notes, they think things through, but they have confidence in themselves at the same time. Most importantly, when they ask questions, they listen and they apply. They take action. But they have a humble swagger is number 5. Number 6 is they have a good law of attraction. A good law of attraction. And a good law of attraction just simply means they have a strong image. They obviously have, they care about their appearance. They care about, showing up and how they show up, mentally, physically, emotionally, right? I have some people that come into the office sometimes that you can tell they just woke up, right? You can tell that they're disheveled. Their suits are just, from the backseat of the car, they're in their trunk. They throw on their jacket, and that hasn't been, pressed, right? That's not a good law of attraction. That's not an image that's going to get a superstar to want to be around you, right? There's people that, again, hold on one second, guys. That they don't take the time in the morning to show up at their best, and maybe they don't do their hair, maybe they, don't put on cologne, maybe don't brush your teeth, things like that. Just the little things mean a lot. But a good law of attraction, and I'll tell you, the people that are going to be partners in the business and are going to grow internally in the organization are the ones that dress daily like the manager. They dress daily like the manager. They understand that having a strong influence means they have a strong image, means they'll have a strong influence. And then just in general, when it comes to recruiting and it comes to doing interviews, obviously having somebody that has a strong law of attraction will help when it comes to doing interviews, and obviously when people start in the organization, things like that. But having a strong, good law of attraction is vital to being in the core. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7 is fiscally responsible. Fiscally responsible. I heard this last week from an owner. An owner said, when people have issues with their bills, or they have issues with, buying things or doing things, they're like, yeah, they don't have a spending problem. They have a revenue problem. And it's interesting. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that completely, but I will tell you, the more you make, the more issues go away. The more you make, the more issues go away, right? Because if you have, an opportunity to make $3,000 a week, and your break-even point is $1,000, then now you have extra, right? But if you make $1,000 a week or $500 a week and your break-even point's $1,000, and now you have a problem, right? So there's 2 things you got to think about when it comes to fiscally responsible. Number 1, you got to think about how well you do in the field. There's people in the programs we're on today, especially on EDM, for you guys who are on EDM, that make $3,000-$4,000 a week in Target, in Costco, in Walmart, in the stores that you're in. So just remember, every excuse that you make for making more money, there's someone else doing it. And people that are in the core long-term and that make a massive difference in the business will always be the ones that set the pace and level things up. And then on the other side of things, when it comes to fiscally responsible. Just because you make more money, just because you do well financially, doesn't mean you spend it all. Doesn't mean that, yeah, you start making $1,000, 1,500, $2,000, whatever. It doesn't mean you start spending it. It means that you're fiscally responsible and you keep your break even low. Because I've seen a ton of people make money in the field, build a crew, get to management, and they start making 2, 3, 4 times what they made in the field. And I still see them go broke. I've seen it in 20 years in business. I've seen entrepreneurs do it, not just in our industry. I've seen people outside of our industry. It is what it is. But living with a low break-even point and willing to focus on it and willing to get yourself stronger financially is a great habit to have if you ever want to be a parent and you ever want to run a business long term. So I'd encourage you to learn how to do that now. If you ate too much, then maybe you should drop off the call, put yourself on mute, and go somewhere else. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Today's been a bit of a shit show when it comes to people being on mute. Okay. All right, guys. So next one. Number 8, I believe. Being available. Being available. Being available is huge when it comes to being in the core of a business. There's times people are going to need you. There's times that you may have to show up when it's not convenient for you. That's what great people do, is they show up when you need them. It may mean taking a phone call at 10 o'clock at night. It may mean going to meet somebody in an off day. It may mean hanging out with your crew, right? So being available and being in a place where you have some love to give, you're strong enough inside to be available and to give, is huge to being in the core of any organization. So being available. The last 2 I want to share with you is things that I think come to mind when I think of people like Brandy. You guys that know Brandy. So this is Brandy. She was at the meeting recently we had in Atlanta. But being selfless is number 9. And number 10 is having an optimistic attitude. So being selfless is someone who has great intentions. They think of other people before themselves. They get filled up by doing good, by giving. And to be fair, they don't, at the moment, at that time, they may not get a lot in return. Right? Brandy coming to hang out and teach the next generation of entrepreneurs. She's been in the industry 25, 26 years. She's already a self-made millionaire multiple times over. She didn't have to come by and hang out with the 22, 25, I don't know, the next generation of owners. But she did. So did Ed. So did, there's lots of people in Atlanta that showed up to hang out and to give, right? But when you treat others like you want to be treated and you give and give and give, the universe will give you tenfold. The universe will give you tenfold. And most importantly, like I said, the optimistic attitude, number 10, is vital for growing in business long term. I had somebody give me recently a compliment that I thought was just like, they didn't even know how much it meant to me. But some rookie owners I've been working with a lot lately, and there's a group of them, and we're starting to see a lot of progress. I'm really proud of them. And one of the owners said, I said, hey, what do you guys like about these calls? What why should we continue them? And one of them said, Ken, I just jumping on this call, seeing you smile and seeing you have fun just puts me at ease. And I was like, man, I didn't realize just how I show up meant that much to him. And that really filled me up. And so just remember, when you have an optimistic attitude and you don't have the victim mentality, right? There's a lot of people who walk across this earth that have a victim mentality. The world's happening to them. This is going to happen. This is because listen, I'll tell you, life is not easy sometimes, for sure. you have to choose to have an optimistic attitude. And how you choose to respond to rainy days and how you choose to respond to life's challenges is really going to determine how well you do in life. But it meant a lot to me that he said that to me, because I really try to lean into having a killer attitude and always seeing the silver lining of things, even in the toughest moments. So just in review today, guys, again, the whole goal today is, hey, what are the core traits what are the traits of core leadership? What are the traits of people that are the captains of teams, that are in the core of the business, the ones that become owners, the ones that become promoting owners, the ones that become consultants in the industry? Like, what are their traits? Number one, commitment. That will never change no matter where you are in the industry. Number two, your standards and quality. I've absolutely seen people grow their organization because of that alone, besides their performance and the quality piece of it, besides their standards. Trust and character, huge. Honesty and authenticity when it comes to, making mistakes. Having a humble swagger, huge. Being a student of the game, having a great law of attraction. Obviously, being fiscally responsible as you learn your career and you start making more money. It's not just what you make, it's what you save, and not changing your lifestyle. I try to teach my organization that you have to have $1 million in cash, $1 million in assets before you start being crazy with things. Being available, obviously having an optimistic attitude, and being selfless. Before I ask you guys this question to kind of lean into things and what you can lean into, I just wanted to say thanks for jumping on today. I do have a question before we end the call. But if you haven't joined our Clear channel, I do upload a lot of these trainings to the channel. And listen, my quote for you guys to kind of in wrapping up is, words may inspire you, but only action will create real change in your life. So hopefully I triggered something today where you can take some action, and it'll help you in your careers. But I'm curious. So what's one thing, if we can go to the chat again, just to kind of wrap up the call, what is one thing that you can lean into, that you can do, one core trait, one core characteristic that you can apply to your week and that will help you level up your game? So if we can jump into the chat, let's see. All right, being optimistic. I love that, Andres. Being more available for my team. Nice. I love it, Brian. Nicholas says optimism. Nice. Very good. Any others? Anyone else that something you can lean into from what we covered today? Some more. Let's see what we got here. All right. Standards, consistency, pace setter so you can lead, office awareness, being available, commitment and standards, fiscally sound, setting the pace, earn more, save more, lead by example. Richard, I agree with Nicholas. I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you joining. I know today was a little bit of a different day because we got 4th of July and different things going on. But you guys have an amazing 4th of July. Enjoy if you got the day off, enjoy the day off. Just remember, life is about living and building the life that you want, on your terms, on your, how you want to live it. And if you don't build the life that you want, trust me, there'll be other people that'll build it for you. So happy 4th of July, guys. You guys have a great next few days. Have a great week in general. And we'll see you guys next time. We're going to be back on in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we're going to have our next call. So make sure people in your offices know if they want to join next time. Thanks for joining today, guys. See you guys.